started writing his pamphlets and putting them in the paper, and the people began to realize that the images of their society was mirroring the corruption in England, and began to make the changes, and gave the forefathers the encouragement to press on. That they said, if there's ever going to be a time, now's the time, because the people had realized. And that's exactly where we are today. Everybody wants to point their finger at Washington, D.C. and all those bureaucrats. And don't misunderstand me. There's a lot of them up there that need to go. But why are they there? They are there because it is a mirror image. When you look at Washington, D.C., it is a mirror image of what is going on in our society today. And if our society today, starting with the individual, will not get back to a heeding to the natural laws of God, dealing with humanity and each other in the privacy of our own home, then our society as a whole has no chance of ever restoring itself back to the place where it needs to be to get order in Washington, D.C. We saw that when they tried to send somebody up there to just kind of clean house. What happened to look at Mr. Trump? I feel so bad for what that family's went through and everything. I guarantee it's incomprehensive, the wickedness that come out of when people are bound and determined to get power and money when you put them together. Benjamin Franklin warned us, well, if we made our positions of power and profit, that there would be absolutely no end to what people would do in order to keep those positions and maintain them. And we've seen that take place. Why is that? Because we are not submitting to the natural laws of God in our society and in our personal life. And it goes right back to the pulpits of America. And you know, that we had that conversation with Chris Ann Hall, and she's encouraged me because she's saying that, you know, they're traveling a lot more over this country than I am, so they get exposed to a lot wider spectrum of what's happening. And she says that, you know, she's encouraged because there are more and more pulpits of America that are starting to preach this. Mr. Dan Fisher, you know, I ran out to the Black Robe Regiment back in 2010, 2011, somewhere in there. It's grown and it's keep moving with folks that are waking up to what we're talking about here. And that must be, but that's not enough, because the individual must get back to the place where they are taking the responsibility and the duties of importance to lead their families, to raise their children in the way they should go. And, you know, I'm gonna probably upset a lot of you, but if I had children in school age right now today, there is no way they would be in the public school system. I don't know what I would have to do. Well, we just do whatever we did. We did it with our kids. We took them, our youngest children, as we grew and learned things of God. Even back in those days, we removed them from that environment and it wasn't such a thing so much as what was going on with our nation at that time, as much as it was academic. When you have certain little issues that makes it a little more difficult to be able to learn, and we just turned our school systems and our hospitals and everything else into these cattle running things. We don't have time to take time to deal with the individual situations. And, you know, if you're not one of the masses that just runs through and learns and goes and has the right attitude, then we just cast you aside, and that's the wrong environment. We must be pushing on to do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And that's the basic premises of our attitude. It has to get back to that. I'm going to do what's right because it's the right thing to do. No other reason. I'm going to do what's right by you. I'm going to do what's right by me, do what's right by my family. And I'm going to suffer the consequences if it's a hard thing to do, because we must press through the hard things. If we're not willing to do that, then we're going to continue to see selfishness. We're going to continue to see individualism rule, and individualism brings nothing but division, chaos, and tyranny. And you know what? If we don't self-regulate, we become regulated. And I'll leave you with that today on this pod. Until we see you again, have a wonderful day.